Good morning, it's Wednesday and I've got to say it is a glorious day out there today. It is just, well, after the last couple of days it is really nice to have such a nice day out there. It's one of them days where I want my washing line full all day, you know, full to brim. Anyway, so today I'm going to be playing with one of our new stamps, this lovely big, I haven't got one, well I have got one package but it's ready for Saturday, shall we say. So there we go. We're going to be playing with this lovely one. Now it is sized to go on an A6 card, but I've actually got a 7-inch card today because I want to work with it on that. So I'm just going to get crafting, I think. I've not quite thought my background through. I did want to do this in vellum, but I can't find my good vellum. I've got my thin vellum, but I've tried it before and it didn't like me coming to emboss it. So I need to find my good vellum, but I've been searching this morning and I can't find it. So we are just going to have to go with some card and see where we go from there. So should we get crafting? Let me see if I can find, there we go. So as you can see, I have got my lovely big, sorry, I have just knocked something over, which means I can't get to where I need to craft. That was me trying to be organised this morning, trying to find my vellum. I've left everything in the way. My good vellum, not my thin vellum. I can find my thin vellum, but I know it won't work because I've tried. Right, so I've got a bit of a scrappy piece of paper, piece of card that it just fits on, and I have got a 7-inch with a silver pearlescent background. Yep. So I'm going to put this to one side because, like I say, I haven't quite thought this background through yet. The word is yet, but we'll get there. So I'm going to start by stamping this one because it is a big bruiser of a stamp. It takes a little bit to ink up, and it would help if I had a nice juicy ink pad, but this one will just have to do. Just make sure you cover every single bit of it. Oof, it's like a workout, isn't it, sometimes doing these? Yep, I keep seeing bits I've missed, but that's why I trusty little gel pen comes back in for. So I've missed any bits I can go back over with. There we go, right, and now it's going to be a bit of a tight fit, but I'm going to squeeze it on this piece because I only want a little bit of the border when I cut this out. I need to give it a really good rub. Give it a good press everywhere. Got no strength in my fingers today. But I do hope you're going to have a lovely day and get to enjoy some of this. I won't say the word because it might disappear. With that big yellow thing in the sky. Both of them might have decided that they didn't want to take coats to school, didn't want anything today. You know, they didn't need the jumpers. It's like, I think you do, you're getting a bit ahead of yourself. It might look nice, but I'm pretty sure it isn't going to stay that way. It is May after all. They both reluctantly took the coats. And the jumpers. So I'm just going to give this a quick blast. You can tell I didn't ink that very well, but I did say my ink pad was on its way out. If I remember rightly, I did put some re-inkers in on my order I've got due today. There we go, and I'm just drying it because I want to colour this in, and I'm going to take quite a bit of time colouring this one in. Whilst I think what I want to do with that gorgeous background but I'm going to make a gorgeous background, and it will be gorgeous. I just haven't decided what we're doing yet. Which seems all wrong that I'm doing the front bit and then I'm going to move on to my background. But I'm sure it'll all come together in the end. Right, I think we are there. Now I've got my brush sat right in front of me. So I think I might use my brush out, or no, I'm going to use my oxides and my inks. So I want a nice like muted background, for want of a better word. So I'm going to go with either Shabby Shutters, if I can find it, or I spent that long today trying to find my vellum that I haven't thought about my colours, have I? Obviously I want peel paint. There we go, I've got peel paint there. And then, should I do pink or should I do blue flowers? Oh, it's decisions. I'm not good with decisions today. Oops. I'm throwing my inks everywhere. I think I am going to go baby seedless preserve. Ooh, got a bit of bundle sage there for my background. So I actually want, I'm gonna go to one of my favourite colours, so I'm gonna go to peacock feathers instead. You know I love peacock feathers. So we're just gonna colour him, and as always I'm gonna start off with that background. So, oops, look at the state of that. I've got that everywhere. It's not a good start, is it, when I'm being a messy monkey already? And this is to colour in all the bits between my flowers. So I'm just going to go in. Don't want it too wet. I don't want my brush too wet. I want it nice and muted. I've got way too much water in my brush. There we go. She says and then picks more up. I know. I'm just going to come in and start colouring this. And you can see why I chose a muted shade. I'm trying to work out which is the leaf and which is the background. I always miss a little bit out of these. Always, always. It's like a talent. There we go. Just filling it in as I go. Doesn't have to be perfect. As well, tidy it up as we go. And this is our background on here. I have missed quite a bit on this one, haven't I? Oops. It's alright, we'll fix it in a minute. Well, we'll fix it as we go. I'm starting to think my background might have some of our leaves in it. And it might have a bit of splodging in it too. Maybe some words. As you can tell, I'm really not sure what our background's going to be made up of yet. I think sometimes you just have to start, don't you? And then you'll slowly find out what you want to add to it. There we go. I'll just keep filling this in. And I don't mind that my colour's not consistent because it's a background. There we go. Pop that bit in. I think we're done with that one. Now the only downside of not knowing what I want my background to look like is I might end up wiping some ink off my desk that I later want to use. But that's okay. Just giving this a quick dry. You know what I might use in the background? Our birthday greetings panel one. That could look quite nice. Right, I'm going to move on to my leaves, my foliage. So again, I'm going to start very, very pale. Again. Building up my colour slowly. Just like that. So really pale to begin with, and then we add in some of our darker to add the detail. This is a really super easy one. It's like a pre-made card, isn't it? Okay. I'm just going to keep turning it around and adding to it. And again, I try and use similar flowers. So on this one I've used Dora. So if you got any of our Dora or the vines or any of that we launched at Easter, they will all work really well together. And then I do need to go back and just tidy up my stamping that was a bit pants, for want of a better word. But I did say, didn't I, before I started stamping, my black ink pad doesn't like me today. It's starting to run out. Okay. It's had a tough time, it's ready to retire, is that ink pad. Okay. Just slowly keep adding in. There we go. So I think we've got all our foliage done. And again, I'm just going to dry this off because I know I've not added as much water, but there's still quite a lot of water there. Or moisture, not necessarily water, but moisture. Just give that a quick whack with the heat gun. then we've got our blue, our peacock feathers that I'm going to just colour this in with. Let's give it a look. And I'm going to start with this one in the corner, I think. And I'm going to try and leave the edges of my flower white. But you know, sometimes I miss the lines, don't I? I can always go back with a white gel pen, can't I suppose? Okay. So I'm just whacking on some very pale peacock feather before we start going in with a bit deeper. Just dry my brush a bit, and I'm going to come up to this bit where I've got that more concentrated peacock feather. I've not added any water to it yet. Again, just building it up. And a bit of a dirty brush as well, so I've got a bit of the peel paint mixed in with it, which is actually looking quite nice. That mixture of peel paint and peacock feather. There we go. Right, and then we're going to start on our next one. So we'll go to this one. Oops, that's really dark. Didn't mean to do that. So just add a bit of water and just move it around if you get a bit of a splodge like I did there. There we go. Just keep adding our colour. Grumbly tumbly. And again, I'm just going to come back in, get some of this darker, start adding it to it. Within no time you've got a really nice little cloud coming together, haven't you? I felt really wet, so I'm just going to go back in. I felt like I was just going to blob a load of ink on. There we go. And again, come and start picking up some of this. There we go. Nearly there. Only 2 more to go, but I am going to put a little bit more ink on my desk, only because, and I've got way more than I did the first time here. Make sure it's nice and watered down. If you notice, I always start at the edge of the petals and then work towards the middle. Just dragging that colour. Except for that one, I did it the opposite way around. Only because I said I was going to do it the other way. There we go. And then we go back. Really, really quick and easy, isn't it? hand on the legs. Then we will go and tidy up where I didn't stamp very well before. Go back in with a bit of water there because I had too much of a line where my pale colour stopped and my dark colour started. Final one down here. I did really take way too much, didn't I? To my desk. Here we go. Right. Done. It didn't take that long, did it, to colour that in? So I'm just going to grab my heat gun, give it a bit of blast and dry it out a bit. And I do need to touch it up because I know I did stamp this pretty badly to begin with. And I've got those lovely centres of our flowers to sort out as well. Right, so before I do anything else, I think I'm going to cut it out and then we can start to see what we want to do with our background, because the more and more I work with it, or the more and more I look at it, I'm starting to think that we might have a bit of a splodgy background. I was going to do the leaves, but actually I think I'm going to do a little bit of a splodgy background and those birthday greetings from one of the monthly makes recently. Not sure it was January's monthly make. I make a background using that. So again, I'm just leaving a little border as I cut around this. Because again, he's got that lovely uneven edge. You can get away with really bad fussy cutting. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can just whip round, nobody will notice. See? And put that there. And then now we get a bit of an idea of how much of the background we're going to see on here. Because I might go around this in that silver again. Yeah? Look at that. And then pull this one out. Oh, that's going to look cool, isn't it, if we do that? That a bit of splodge. Oh. Ooh. Might do a bit of splodge and a strip of that. Or actually I might just do the whole thing. Oh, decisions. Did say decisions in me today. Might do that. We're going to have our birthday details in here. Yes. Right. I think I've got a bit of a plan. I think. So, I'm going to start off with this background next. I know I'm jumping. And we have got that lovely blue. So we've got our peacock feathers. And I'm thinking I want a going to use my bundle sage, I think. So I do just want a splodge on my background, yeah? So I'm going to pop it on my desk. And I know normally I would use a piece of acetate, so I know exactly where this is going to go. However, because I'm covering the whole thing, this is a bit quicker, and it doesn't really matter because the whole thing's being covered. I don't just want an area, so I don't have to be specific about where I'm doing it. I do love, it's just so easy to get such a beautiful background, isn't it, using your distress inks, your oxide and a bit of water. There we go. So I need to make sure this is really dry before we put our next colour on, otherwise it just all mixes together and gets a bit muddy, whereas I want that really good definition of the two colours. There we go. And then I'm going to take my peacock feathers and do exactly the same. Just make sure you do dry your desk off though between each colour, otherwise you'll end up contaminating those inks, and we really don't want that, do we? We might have gone a bit too heavy handed with this one. That's okay. Okay. Again, just wiping down my desk. Make sure it's all nice and dry. And just got a few dots that I can see need to dry. So I've been there, I've been impatient, and I've not dried it properly, and then I've gone to stamp something over the top, and it's like, nope. There we go. Right. Just checking. Look at that. Yay! And we've got our lovely greetings that we're going to put on here. However, I want to bring our front and our back together. I know I've done that with the colour, but I also want to do it with my stamps. So if I can just quickly find my leaf stamp. If I can't find my leaf, I'll have to use my flower head. I prefer my leaf. Well, there's my flower head. There's the leaf. There we go. So this is the one off the Darling Dora, which I've used to create that panel. So you know it's all going to work together. And I'm going to stick with my bundle sage, I think. Let me move my paintbrush. I keep popping my arms over it. There we go. And we're just going to randomly stamp this in our background. Now remember, we have got quite a big area that we're not going to see. Just drop my stamp, that's never a good thing, is it? So just randomly we go. I'm just moving my paper around, making it easier for me to stamp. And again, I'm not worrying whether I'm inking this up right or wrong, because it's our background. And we can get forgiven for all sorts in that background, can't we? Ooh, look at that, I've got ink everywhere. Messy monkey. I didn't even get it on the stamp. There we go. I'm just going to pop another one down here. My lid back on, just give me a stamp a bit of a clean actually. There we go, pop that back over there. I should really put it away. Got more leaves on my desk now. Again, I'm going to keep bringing this back in to see if I want to change anything on it. I'm actually going to knock those leaves back into the background a little bit because they're jumping out, and once I've got the greetings over the top, I think it might be a bit too much. So I'm just going to take some water and then just starting anywhere, because I've not dried this with my heat gun yet, this ink will move a bit. And can you see it's just going to, I drag it in from the edge. It's like colouring it, but not quite. Yep. Just dragging that colour, moving it until we're happy. Just keep wetting it. And then move it. You might reactivate the stuff underneath. You might. But again, not a big deal if you do. Yeah, so can you see these are jumping off the page really, yep. These not so much because they've got that colour going into the centre of them. But I am using quite a lot of water, so I'm just taking my time. Just dragging that colour. There's nothing I've done yet on this card that is complicated. Just really simple techniques that like timeless techniques, aren't they? And yes, I've used my oxides, but inks you'd probably get away with doing. Anything that's water based that you can move, yeah, with your water or reacts with our water. Like that. And then once I'm happy with it, I'm going to go back and dry it again. So I'm liking it more. I am definitely liking this better than that, as I did go a bit over the top. It might have been better doing second generation stamping on it, but I'm now happier with it. In a minute we'll get to start adding our sayings. And I'm thinking I might do them in my peel paint. So if I do them in black, it's going to then pull away from our focal point, which is that lovely panel we've done on the front. There we go. Right, so I think I'm quite happy with that. Let's get this dry. And they're definitely sitting there, aren't they, in the background rather than jumping off the background. Sometimes you want them to jump, other times not so much. Funny, I'm making sure it's dry because when we come to put our greetings over it in a minute, don't want them to go all splodgy, do we? Yeah, technical term, splodgy. Especially if I'm going to stamp them in my Distress Oxide. There we go. Again, that does look better, doesn't it? Yeah. So I've got my happy birthday. Moment of truth now. Do I stamp it in my peacock feathers, or are we? I think peacock feathers. If I was going to stamp it, I would probably have used a grey to get a nice crisp image using a grey, but because then it's not going to interfere with that focal point, is it? I'm just trying to make it go a bit flatter because I've made it into a banana. It's never easy trying to stamp onto a banana. I'm just going to ink this up again. It's not about being the world's best stamper. It's the background. You're not going to see a lot of it. So I'm just going to start popping it on. I'm going to stamp it over the edge and see where I end up. Don't know why I inked up the whole thing then. I didn't need it, did I? I think it just becomes habit, doesn't it? I've got to ink up everything. Because for some reason, I always end up inking up the wrong bit. And I know I'm not going to see a lot of this. However, I've been caught out one too many times, only stamping bits, and then realising I should have stamped more. There we go. Let's ink up his bottom. I am loving that bundle sage and peacock feathers together. I think they are looking amazing. They're not two that I put together very often, but I am loving it. Again, I'm just going to come down again, make a bit of a splodge. Just ink up the bottom. Now we've just got a little bit down that edge to do. So I'm going to spin it round, make it easier for myself. I'm getting this everywhere, aren't I? Really didn't mean to. Oops. Guess it's stamping there, I got it stuck. There we go. Pop that there. Just going to give my stamp a bit of a wipe over. And we'll clean up my desk as well because I've got that everywhere. See what I mean? It is everywhere. Right. So again, I'm just going to keep checking. Oh, yes, liking it. So I'll pop that to that side. I think all I'm going to do now with this background is I might just do a bit of doodling. I'm going to have, with your big set, you get, where have I put it? You knew that was coming, didn't you? Where's your big step? I had it because I took the stamp off it before. Oh, what have I done with it? Some days my brain just does not compute. This bear tells me I get the brain frogs. I do. Bad brain frogs some days. Cannot see for looking today. Nope. So with your big stamp set, you get some little sayings, some happy birthday, and I think it's happy birthday, anniversary, and rude. I can't find it. Okay, I'm going to stop looking for it and then it'll jump out at me, won't it? Because I definitely had it on my desk before we started earlier. But that's okay. So I'm going to create my little panel for here. So I'm going to go with June. So we have now got, let me move that out of the way because I need them as well. The months of the year. I've been asked for these a few times. We've now got all the months of the year. We've got January, February, March. Well, you know the months of the year, don't you? Yep. So I'm going to go with June, which is here. Just be careful. Some of them are a little bit close. So just be gentle when you take them off the first time. They are available on the website individually as well. So I just need a bit of a scrap of card. So I've got July. And I'm going to stamp it in black because I do want this to stand out just as much as that lovely panel we have got. So, get inking this up. And I know I still need to go back and fix that. Can't forget that. Oops. I know, no good at stamping today. It might be a little problem. Ooh, that's not good. Turn it over. Something on my desk there. So let me stamp it. Not over the bit where I've got a bit of a divot going on my desk. There we go. Oh, it's done it again. Never mind, I won't use June, I'll use July then. There we go. I love July because it's got all like cosmic-y bits in it. The colours have come together, haven't they? There we go. So we've got our July, which is going to go. I'm just going to cut it out roughly for now. Down here. And then I really do need my other stamp set, but I'm not quite sure where it has gone. So I'm going to cheat and use the ones off my little, the other set that we launched on Friday. Because I haven't got a clue what I've done with it. Give me one of them. As soon as I stand up, I will find it, won't I? I'm not going to quite fit that one in. How rude. I'll definitely fit that one in there. So I've got a teeny tiny happy birthday. It's going to drive me crackers because you guys saw that I had that stamp set before I set off stamping earlier. So what have I done with it? I don't know. So I'm going to pop, so we know this birthday's in July, and I'm going to pop my numbers in as well. So let's do 13th, I think so. And I've got happy birthday for this one down here. And then I've got my lovely July there. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to add this in. Pop that there. I really do need to change this tablecloth. It has got all sorts of bits missing out of it, which is why I'm not stamping very well at the moment. So I'm going to stamp my happy birthday. I haven't decided whether I'm going to colour these in or not. I'm quite liking having them white because they are jumping out, but I will do a little bit of shading around them in a minute. I'm going to grab my 13. So I'm going to put my 3 in first. Might end up overlapping these a bit. Let's get my 3 in. I've got my 3. Put back on the stamp sheet. And my 1. That's the right way up. There we go. And then I'll pop that over there for a second. I'm going to work on my July. I'm just going to give it a quick blast with the heat gun. So on this one, all I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a little bit of the peacock feathers, only a smidge. And I'm not going to spritz it or anything because I want it to just add a little bit to our like cosmic bits. And of course it had to be Rosie's design for Rosie's month, birthday, yeah, you get what I mean. Okay, so I'm just adding a teeny tiny bit, not too much at all. Need to clean my brush out. I don't know why, but I really like having a little bit of red on numbers. Yep. I'm going to pop that there. So July is the 7th. So in each of these you've got July, and then you've got the number of the month, so 7th, and how many days it's got in there as well. Just add in a little smidge into there. Again, nothing too much, just a hint of colour because we've got so much colour going on. The white really sets it off, doesn't it? There we go, and then all I want is a little bit of shading as well. Again, just around here, and put some on my jaw. I think that's enough. So you don't really need to add much, do you? And they look quite cool. But what I am going to do is around these bits too. So these guys jump out. Now I will add a bit of glossy accents if it's plain ball. to these. I'm going to put a little bit on the outside there and then on the inside on this one. And I'm going to do the same on this one down here with a happy birthday in it. And on the inside, oops. Okay, I'm just going to make that a little bit more since I went to town on that one. Right, I am quite happy with that. That goes on there. We just need to cut our jewel line out. We need to touch it up a little bit and then we can get this thing together. There we go. Concentrating while I cut out. I'm going to go like so, and then I think we just need a bit of ribbon or something around that, don't we? So let's grab that. Just going to touch up where I missed a minute ago because, well, I wasn't exactly inking up properly this morning, was I? There you go. Nobody will know. Nobody will know I needed to do a touch-up job because I didn't ink up properly. I know. Right, I think that was it, wasn't it? I think so. And now, all decisions. I think I'm going to go gold on this one. I always like to add a bit of jelly roll, don't I? So I'm just going to add a little bit of gold in. And so here. I know I've not done the centre. Oh, I'll do the centre at the same time. There we go. Just keep moving around. Ooh. Missed that bit there. I need to grab this one here. And hopefully I will find my thick vellum and we'll be able to make one in vellum, because that's what I really wanted to do today. And hopefully find me the stamps from this stamp set as well. That'd be helpful. I don't get where they've gone because they were there when we started out. I tell you, I've got desk fairies, haven't I? I just cut them, move everything. Between those and my brain frogs, I've got no chance. There we go. Don't think I need to do anything else on that. I know I'm dancing around with everything, aren't I? Just a real quick doodle line around the edge, nothing special. And then once we put our bit on the top, we will decide where to put squiggles and things like that. So I'm just going to, oops, don't want to lose that bit now, do I? I'm on a roll losing things today. What I need to do is tidy my desk off properly and then only have the stamps that I'm using on my desk. That'd make more sense, wouldn't it? Oops. I'm hoping I've got enough gloop in here. There we go. Hoping that should hold. And I'm going to cheat. I'm going to turn it over and splat it from the back. Only because then I'm not rubbing on that wet stuff. That wet ink. You don't want to get to this point, do you? And then go, oh no, I have. There we go. And then I'm going to turn that over because I had peacock feathers over it. And I think before I do anything else, I'm just going to pop a little bit of ribbon on. Is that okay, or should I go for slightly fatter? Oh, that's nice, isn't it? It's like a greeny yellow. I'm just going to pop it across the bottom. There we go. Let's turn that over. Just attach it with a little bit of tape. There we go. And I am going to put a bow, a bit of a knot on it, but until I position my panel, I am not going to know where to quite put that knot hammer, so I'm just going to leave it as is. There you go. So I'm going to put that on there like so. I do think this needs a bit of a background too, so I'm hoping I've got a bit of grey over here. I hope it might be big enough. If it's not, I'm just going to have to run and grab. Nope, not quite big enough. Let me just grab another sheet of grey. Definitely not a scrap buster, this one, is it? Quite a bit. So I'm just going to pop this onto a piece of grey. It'll take me 2 minutes to cut it out. It gives me scrap. Wasn't big enough. That's how it goes sometimes though, isn't it? I'm getting right to the bottom of my glue. Need to be adding a bit more in. I do find those little bottles do work a lot better though. Because the big glue bottles just, I find they go everywhere. There we go. And then a super quick cut around this one. Again, I'm just leaving a nice little border. I am speeding around this. Didn't realise how thick this card was until you come to cut through it. Right, there we go. So that goes on the top of there. So onto there, like so. That goes there. We're going to have a little bit of a bow, well, not a bow, a knot. Pop that under there. Oh, I made that a bit big, didn't I? There we go. Only just fits on. Yep, that comes down there like so. We're gonna get our little July, and of course I will pop these on with foam pads, and then that will go there, and probably a little bit of glossy accents just to finish it off. I think I'm just gonna do a few little squiggles, might even do one there too. And I think it needs a little bit of glossy accents, doesn't it? So I would glossy accent my 3 little bubbles to go on there, like so. How cool is that? I've personalised the birthday card for July 13th. Yep. There you go. Right. Oops, let me move everything. I still haven't found that set of stamps. Literally, I will sign off and they will turn up. I hope. I haven't got a clue what I've done with them. Right. So my mouse doesn't want to work again today. So that is it from me today. Thank you for joining me. We will be back on Monday for the launch of May's monthly make. I know I keep going on May's monthly make. It will be going out later today. I've got them nearly all packed. I just need to put some addresses on, and they'll be leaving the building today. So yeah, back Monday 7 o'clock for the launch of May's lovely monthly make, and we will be in Birmingham on Saturday. If you are anywhere near, do come along and say hello. We will be in the naughty corner as always, so through the doors and turn left, and normally you can hear the noise the noise before you can see us. So thank you for joining me today. Do take care, and I hope you get to enjoy some of this lovely weather we are having. Not saying that word again, don't want to jinx it. Do take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.